No Man's Sky. This game is honestly quite incredible. You know, I never played this game when it first came out because I heard it was bad and I honestly just couldn't afford it at the time. Recently I decided to pick it up on Game Pass because 1, it was free, and 2, I heard it was fixed exponentially better than when it was at release. This game is so much fun and I've lost many hours to it. If you don't know what No Man's Sky is, it's pretty much an open universe game where you can go to any planet you want, any solar system you want, any star you want, any space station you want. You can go anywhere and everywhere, and the entire universe is open to you. And everything is seamless, and it just makes the game feel infinitely bigger than it actually is, and it is incredible. So, would I recommend No Man's Sky in 2022? Well, to cut straight to the chase, yes, I actually would. As you know, I haven't played it when it first came out, but playing it now for like 5 to 6 hours, the game is just really fun, and I totally think it's worth it. And the game is on Game Pass now, so it's free if you have Game Pass, so you don't even have to pay for it, just making your opportunity to get into this expansive universe even bigger. Hi. Did you expect to see me here? Probably not, but let me give you the quick rundown real quick, yeah? So, as you guys know, my GTA video has over 130,000 views, and I really appreciate all that, and thank you. But on my statistics, having 500 subs and 130,000 views, you get this, where 99.8% of my audience is not subscribed, which is like mind-numbing how big that is. Because usually you find like channels where it's like, oh, like 90% aren't subbed, or like 75 aren't, but like 99.8, only 0.02% are subbed, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys did that. If this video blows up or not, I don't know, but I figured I'd throw the reminder in here because I'd really appreciate that, because it's kind of discouraging to look at it a bit. So yeah, anyways, back to the video. Now, as I said earlier, my experience with this game is only about 5 to 6 hours, so I don't know all the ins and outs about this game, or even a ton about it, but I can share my experience with you. So you start out crashed on this planet, and you're pretty much stuck in the solar system. Well, you're stuck on the planet first, but then once you fix your ship and get off planet, you're stuck in the solar system, kind of going through the tutorial, and you learn about all the different mechanics and stuff, and then you finally get a drive that you can use to go to Intergalactic Travel and just go to any solar system you want, and that's when the fun really begins. Each solar system has their own planets, their own space stations. Some are like illegal space stations, some are legal. You have pirates that are trying to like attack you, and asteroids and different planets, and ones with rings and big stars, double suns like you're on Tatooine. It's just vast and endless and so unique all over the place. Now, obviously, to have a game at this scale, you need to have auto-generated planets, kind of like Minecraft almost. So they aren't all handcrafted, because that would literally be impossible, because the game is like infinitely large. There are people that have been playing the game since it's come out who still have not found a planet to call home because they haven't found the perfect planet yet. And this game has been out for what, like 6 years, I think? It's honestly just insane. Now, when you first launch into the game, there are several modes you can pick from, but one that's most interesting to me is actually Expedition Mode. Now, when I first started playing this, I didn't even realize Expedition Mode was a thing, but if you want an easier start and don't want it to be any hard for you, you don't want to be stranded on a planet, if you pick Expedition Mode, you will spawn with your own space station, and everything will be laid out a lot easier for you. You'll have more equipment and stuff with you, and it's just a good way to start if you don't want to like get started out in the dirt, essentially. So even when you're playing this game, you have various options of how you want to start, how you want to play the game, how hard or easy you want it to be. There's just a lot of options in general. Now, probably the biggest part of this game, and probably the biggest reason of why you will or will not want to buy this game, is the gameplay loop. Think of the gameplay loop kind of like Minecraft, as I mentioned earlier. In Minecraft, there's no real goal. I mean, sure, you can make it to the end and defeat the Ender Dragon and quote-unquote beat the game, but in reality, Minecraft is just what you want to do. Unlimited potential. You can just create whatever you want, destroy whatever you want, do whatever you want, essentially. And that's more or less kind of how this game is. The goal of this game is you get to planets and you mine resources, to take those resources to create more equipment, to mine more resources, to make more equipment, to build bases and ships, and to get credits and to explore more. But that's really it. That's kind of the loop. There's like no goal to like get to. it's just like the next thing after the next thing. There's no real long-term stuff. And so in that way, it's kind of like Minecraft, where like you can do whatever you want, but there is like no end game. So just keep that in mind if you are planning on playing this game. An interesting thing I found with the game is that the more and more you explore and the more solar systems you go to, the more alien and unique every planet gets. Like, you start out in a solar system and it's just kind of basic, it's kind of whatever, you might have a toxic planet or not, but like the more and more you explore, you find like crazy alien life or crazy events, hazardous planets with awful storms like snowstorms or whatnot. And just the more you explore, the more bigger and grand and unique and just like crazy things can get. Now, while I would like to boast about how great this game is now, it's not perfect. Nothing truly ever is. At the end of the day, it is still very similar in the gameplay section to how it launched, where it is just a resource collecting, mining, very little action kind of game, and you should just be aware of that if you're going to buy this or play it in the first place. If you don't like resource gathering games and you are more like action oriented or something, this is really not the game for you. While they added many features and many like animals and creatures and different types of planets and storylines that you can follow, overall the gameplay itself is just the same. And if you didn't have any interest in it when it launched and you heard people say bad things about it, it's more or less the same, and honestly you just need to expect that, so take caution. From what I've heard from other sources on the internet, once you get to a certain point in this game where you have enough money to buy everything, enough resources to make everything, the game kind of becomes dull and stale. It's kind of like if you're in any open world game and you make it to the end game, whether you beat the entire story or you have everything like the most powerful equipment and you just have nothing left to do. I heard that's kind of a problem with this game. In my personal experience, this game is fun to play for like a few hours at a time. It's a game you really need to be in the mood for. You need to be like itching to play it. And if you're just like kind of whatever about it, it's probably not going to be the most fun thing, but if you get yourself invested into it, it can be really fun. Anyways, those are pretty much the cliff notes on if you should play the game this year or if you just should drop it and not play it at all. I took heavy inspiration from a couple of videos, one of which being from Mr. Holthen and the other one being from Classic Game Reviews, so I'll link those videos in the description if you want a more in-depth review on this game, since I wasn't able to hit all the targets since I haven't played this game as much as other people have. Again, I want to thank you guys for getting me over 500 subscribers, and hopefully we can reach 1,000 soon at some point. And I really don't have much more to add to this video or this review. Take what I say however you want, really, and form your own opinions with it. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.